What's up, guys? Vince Ryder here, and welcome to my review of Ladybug Miraculous, Season 4, Episode 9, Agreste. Gabriel Agreste, Daddy Agreste, yeah, listen, I'm going to try my best to review this with my very lacking thoughts of, basically my F plus knowledge of, you know, attention span of this show. So I mean, I don't know. It's not that. It's just that I have this numbing headache, and also when it comes down to reviewing Miraculous Ladybug, I don't know what it is. I really love the show. It's just that my body's like, Vince, stop. Just don't, okay? You gotta go to bed. I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish this review some one way or another, okay? That's what I'm about to do. But to waste all this talking energy of talking about a show that I thought I quit watching, but I still am still really hanging for dear life. That's for sure. I don't know. There's probably a better answer for that. But other than that, let's talk about this episode, okay? Because I did watch the dub, and of course, I don't know if I did a good job with the ephemeral, the last episode or the last other episode that was released, as I thought I was gonna really flunk it, but it turns out that I kind of did a right job. Also, I just want to really let people know this because I always get like new subs and they're always wondering like, what the heck is Vince talking about Miraculous Ladybug? Listen, I am not the best, okay? You're better off watching any other Miraculous channel that is like way better, more basically more productively constructed when it comes to their criticisms and reviews of this episode or of the show. Because with me, you're listening, this is kind of like a poor chance. This is kind of like I'm basically the O6 hotel, and they're like the freaking Aria Las Vegas resort hotel that is like a skyrocket $1 million, and I'm just like a, hey, you get a room for $2, that kind of thing. Basically, if you get the knowledge, at least that's how I see it. Of course, basically I'm saying that I suck compared to to any other people that review the show, but I'm just sharing my thoughts, okay? And also I have a list, not very an active list. It's going to be interesting how I'm going to get through these, but let's just see what happens. Anyways, Alia knows who Shadowmont and with the two Miraculous. I think that's what I got from. Of course, we started off with Gabriel inside the area of where the mother is, and of course talking to her as if she can, hear her. And yeah, pretty much seeing a video from Alia. I didn't know if he was a, Gabriel was a subscriber of Alia News or something. Probably for a certain reason to, for that knowledge, but it's Alia is seems to know that Shadowmont has two Miraculous. I just put that in the list. What do you want from me? Okay, I'm gonna put certain things in the list that I'm gonna really name off of that is pretty much not really gonna make any difference of this review in any way, because it's kind of like stuff that is pretty obvious if you've seen the episode, of course. Not and also we've seen Felix, and I found out that Nice Felix sounds a lot like Adrian, but it's he seems to sound different when he's like in his certain mood where he's like also, yeah, of course Felix is back, and I was expected to see Felix back, I guess, for another time to visit, the uncle. Hello. And as we move on, Gabriel, it turns out that Gabriel can't replace Natalie, and I always see that as like a very loving and touching, because here's the thing, as you can see on the picture, as you see here on this video, because it's basically an audio kind of review thing, you're not gonna see anything else, it's just this picture. I do want to see Natalie and Gabriel together. I do want to see them, I want to see Gabriel move on, basically. And I do want to see, like, it's kind of like I wouldn't say that it's like Natalie's like his second hand or something like that. No, it's like it could be something better. Seeing how Natalie grew, especially how Natalie knows much of Adrian and probably cares more of Adrian more than Gabriel. And I see this relationship blossom, especially how two of them are just, the evil duo in taking over and trying to stop Cat Noir and Ladybug and stuff like that, and also the other heroes as well. But as we move on, Natalie shares sandwich, that's kind of like the moment where I was like, oh, they're gonna be in love, they're gonna be married, it's gonna be a thing, it's gotta happen somehow. Like, come on, Astruck, don't fail me now. And also, I guess as we move on, everyone knows like Marinette is crushing on Adrian, which is not a surprise. I think I just put that in notes, for kind of sake. I just realized like, for all these times that they're all probably tired. The same way the fandom is like, man, just get with it with Adrian. It's getting old, Marinette. Anyways, moving on. Sleeping Beauty, gender bend. That's what I put in here. Because we see the story that I guess this. Look, I have to call them. I really hope they're a gay couple. Like, come on, that has to be canon somehow. But Mark and his BF pretty much made a story for like a gender bend of Sleeping Beauty between of Marinette being the knight and also Adrian being the Sleeping Beauty. It's like, maybe that's the fairy tale. I could be wrong. But out of nowhere, freaking Chloe comes in. And I'm just like, oh boy, Astruck is about to ruin her character again. And I was right. It's happening. I mean, we see Sabrina pretty much struggling over there. Is her name Sabrina? I don't know. Like she, assistant of Chloe that is struggling down there, I guess. And they kind of made it to a whole meme in the Miraculous fandom in a way. But yeah, Chloe's back. But not in the way that you may think it is, because I guess Chloe's there to expose and, like in a clever way. Like I'm trying to think like, can just Chloe just get the video and just not interrupt the whole party instead of letting like, oh, look at me, I'm interrupting your whole show and I'm gonna tell Adrian that you're in love with him or something, whatever it is that Chloe is plotting. And out of nowhere just comes in and just escapes. Kim Possible mode, basically. Yeah, Chloe Possible there. And of course we see the rest of them like, what just happened? And I'm just like, yeah, what did just happen? Like, I don't know what is with it, with this as they call it, character assassination. I think I saw a video of how Chloe's just, she's prisoned of Astruck's writing abilities, of making her more of a be as she always like pretty much supposed to be. But it's not supposed to be like that. But then again, I made a whole like somewhat of a video about this in this concept. Moving on, we move on to like male Marinette, as Marinette pretty much is now Merino, like just has a mustache on, and that's supposed to be like surprising, like disguised in a way. Oh, like this is clever and stuff. It's a kid's show. What am I saying? And yeah, we are entered in the mysterious party, and also we saw Marinette, Mustachio, pretty much is introduced to Sarah. And I always think that Sarah's like, would be a character that we would see a little bit more, but now it's just a side character that just doesn't really found out like the obvious of who Marino is at all. Totally. Chloe trying to show a video like that didn't work at as well, pretty much. If you've seen it, like it just didn't really count up to it, which I'm like, what difference would it make? Would Adrian be like, yeah, so like I don't know, I'm trying to think of what difference it would make if Chloe did show the video, if that was ever shown, but we're gonna find out. But if you've seen the whole episode, you already know Felix's mom as I think this is one thing that has been brought up, which I didn't know, that yeah, pretty much did really Gabriel give back the ring to Felix? Is that what I'm getting with? I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm trying to look some of the episodes from like seasons ago, pretty much I forgot. At least some of them. Or at least I'm trying to forget, because that's season 3. What just happened? What was going on? That finale? Poor Chloe. Anyways, and also some of the riots and everything like that. Yeah, did I review it though? I did review it, and of course the other channel got terminated. So there's my piece of the sauce. Um, yeah, Chloe, and also we had a Chloe versus Felix moment, so that was interesting. Also, one thing to note is that Marino had a like earpiece that they didn't find out when Marino was going in. Marinette was discovered. Nope, that didn't happen. Not even a scan. Like I don't understand that. And also the sound wave shutters were actually going on, and so they couldn't hear from the group that basically told Marinette or Marino to go in there to actually find it's Prince Charming. Gabriel knows and falls for basically the ring prank that, because Gabriel was calling in with Felix, and of course that, this whole conversation didn't really go anywhere. So that's when like Gabriel like took the bait or took the ring, of course. And it seems like, and pretty much wrote down here like Natalie's clever, applying something to actually get back at Felix, which is trying to akumatize him by having a Gabe clone, and the clone of Gabriel would go in there and actually weaken Felix, and basically Felix has to be manipulated by shadow moths out of like a bloom. Like it's kind of like a clever plant, but the way I try to put it out there, you already know, like F plus, I know. Uh, but then moving on, Marino is in and inside the party. I guess this is all like I don't know what the writing and all this. I heard something that if all the writing itself would try to make sense, if you try to make sense of it, it would actually give you whole brain damage, which I don't want, because I do see how all the writing in itself, and I can do see how like I tend to like have this guilty pleasure of reviewing these episodes, as you can tell, but it's like I couldn't not unwatch it. It's just there's something about something new that happens to the show, and I'm just like, you think I would just nail it off the spot? Maybe it's this whole freaking listing. Maybe it's this whole listing that I have going on that is not a really good list, but something that's like, yeah, this feels like an essay, doesn't it? And moving on, as we also saw an Adrian versus a Kogami moment. Well, did they talk? Of course. Did they not? I don't know. We saw this scene where Adrian and Kagami didn't really like, they stared at each other but they didn't look. I mean, they didn't talk. So that's because Kagami can never forget what Adrian, and rightfully so, especially in the first episodes. That was a tough moment for Kagami, and I kind of feel bad for her. Like definitely Adrian and Kagami, I can definitely see how they're these two are definitely worth it for together, and especially how that would play into the family and all that. But does Adrian, like, I'm trying to think to myself, like, Adrian loves someone, but would he be better off not, in that single life, like, just understanding that you're still young and pretty much, need no girl and something like that. Like, always wonder about that. Like, the whole, like, oh, you're single, but hey, think about all the good things that can happen and stuff like that. Would that concept happen in this show? Probably not, because that would be boring. Moving on, Chloe and Marinette as a box, because Chloe turns into one of those robot box things that just rolls around stealing phones and stuff like that. And Chloe tries to steal the phone, and Marinette as a box. Like pretty much no one sees the obvious between all this. Like no one sees this as they're all dancing, basically. Wow. Felix sneaks in the art piece, or basically in Gabriel's office, and pretty much saw the art piece of the portrait of Gabriel's wife and Emily, basically. And it's just that's when he got caught. And this is when this whole plan that Gabriel was, or Natalie, genius Natalie, was setting up. That's what I mean by two of them being an ultimate couple, because they will be an all undefeated duo. And yeah, Felix got caught and then has to, almost got akumatized, but fails. So, and I'm trying to think, like, with all these failed akumatizations that Shadowmot has been putting on, especially the same thing with Alia, this is now the same thing with Felix. Would that fail as, like, is it going to fail more often due to how much he can hold? Like, definitely need Natalie back, that's for sure. And Felix then knows who Shadowmot is, which was something that I guess shocks me. Like, I was like, oh, Felix knows, okay. that happened. No wonder he was this like, vigilant to actually stop Gabriel. And of course, like, Felix was being tricked or trying to be tricked, saying that, as the clone Gabriel was not Gabriel, but, was basically. And, Shadow Mott, telling Felix, like, no, that is not Gabriel. He is weak. My goodness, I can do a good Shadow Mott voice if I can actually know the lines that he said. But and now he got pretty much the one that got akumatized, I guess, was the clone Gabriel or Senti Monster clone Gabriel, and that's just and I'm trying to think like how did that lead to that, or maybe it's because that Shadow Mott was like, oh, I can't stop him. That means I have to put I have to make you a clone, my clone, or I have to make you the collector once again. This is the second time we see the collector. Last time was a book that collector hold, and now this time was a tablet. So that was a interesting change, as the senti effects of the kumatization would actually make it more powerful. And as it moves on, as pretty much Felix escaped there by scratching the ankle sleeves. Is that what it's called? The trouser sleeves or something like that? I don't know, the pants. Put a little scratch. And was wondering like, what was that all about? But of course, the whole show made us pay attention to that because that's kind of like important later on. It shows how very clever he is. And Collector is back as Kagami helped and also the others helped try to stop Collector from basically putting everything in his data, as also she fights, and then that's when claws out. Cat Noir is here, and of course as well as Miraculous Ladybug, coming back to save the day. So all of them are back, and as we see this whole fight going down, we see the Lucky Charms and also Collector defeated with no, and also with no Cataclysm this time. And it was pretty much a very interesting and also surprisingly easy fight. I thought there was going to be some hiccups or some trips here and there. No, it was clean, it was clever, and I guess that was just an easy job to the point where Cat Noir didn't need to use no Cataclysm, and everything went back to normal. And of course, this is the part where I have to talk about fake Gabriel, clone Gabriel is pretty much gives the ring back to Felix, and also is given the miraculous charm by Ladybug. And that's when I was like, oh no, that's oh no, Ladybug screwed up. And pretty much wouldn't know, but whoa boy. And also Chloe took an L. Took an L. Like pretty much tried to show a video, but that didn't help. And why would it help anyways? Because, well, Astruck just has a hatred for Chloe. And I really try to make sense with that. Astruck's, has this ever happened before? Like, if I was the writer, would I make a character that I hated so much to the point where I would make it like this and that and something? Like, there has to be a reason why Astruck is doing all this to Chloe. Like, why are you like, can you just get rid of Chloe? Like, what are you doing, Astruck? But no, just wants to continue the torture, wants to continue this and that. I feel like that Astruck had pretty much broke up with somebody, and that someone that is pretty much, a very in preference of Chloe or a resemblance of Chloe, and then broke up with with Astruck and was like, I'm not dating anymore. And then Astruck got mad and then ruined Chloe just to show how much he hates his ex. That's just a theory, okay? That's just something I probably made up, but I'm like, if that was true, then it would make sense. But also, it's like, I don't know, my mind is somewhere else. See what I mean? My brain is leaking. Someone help me. Natalie is also given the magic charm just to find out in the book, and also Felix also like found out who the real Gabe is due to the pants and seeing it. It's like these small details. And, with the episode of Ephemeral, I can never say that right, the other episode that I reviewed, or the 100th episode special for Miraculous. That episode itself, basically, it was a good one, but also it didn't make sense why the word "my lady" all of a sudden basically made Gabriel very suspicious, and then it clicked for Gabriel. It was like, what? How did you know that by the word "my lady" that your son said, and all of a sudden you know who Cat Noir is, and just like that, and that matches. It's the same thing with this, like with Felix finding out who the real Gabe is by the ankles of the pants, and that wasn't scratch. First off, that is all black. I couldn't even see that at all, even if I tried. But when you do it, it's like, oh, that just so happens to work? Question mark. Anyways, the Ventures of Marino and a painting, and also we saw the painting in the closet. I don't know. We saw this in the after credits. I'm just basically trying to finish it off. Ain't no cherry on top, that's for sure, because this review has been flunked. I mean, I try, guys. Look, my reviews are not top tier when it comes to Miraculous Ladybug, because there is just something I'm really looking forward to in this show, and I feel like that is to come. Next, I'm about to do a couple of debunks, as I call it. It's not really debunks. It's just some stuff that I pretty much found out from the fandom and what they're talking about through this episode. So, the first one is basically Felix being a senti monster. Look, I don't know anything about no damn senti monsters. I'm just gonna leave that to the pros. Whatever it is, I'm like, sure, that's a senti monster. Yeah, you're a senti monster. Now you're a senti monster. Okay, I don't know what you want from me. Look, the senti monster, Felix being a senti monster, I can definitely see that. But also, like what is the whole family senti monster? Is Gabriel a senti monster? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But hey, that's what the theory of the fandom is making. And if I try to really debate, I would fail. I would be crushed. Okay, literally. So hey, just take my wallet. Just you win. Okay, Miraculous fandom, you win. Okay, just leave me. I don't want any trouble. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Also, one thing I also want to talk about as well, I know I'm kind of like, really beating the horse when it comes down to Astruck's hate for Chloe. But then it's like, okay, so this is what I heard from another reviewer that talked about this, saying that Astruck's hating Chloe, but not for Gabriel, as Gabriel really wants, like something about like character redemption and stuff like that, but ain't no redemption for Chloe. But for Gabriel, it's like, there's this certain, like, as the fandom points out, the hypocrisy of it. And then what I found out, especially through me, as you can tell, is that I've seen that throughout the other fandom that they're talking about it. Like, it's just the about Chloe and also the Astro thing. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz, and I'll see you when I see yeah, that's my review. Peace.